Hello everyone, welcome back here to the channel. My name's Scott. It's great to be here and I'm glad you're here too. Because we're working on songs, we've started working on songs in our channel. I don't mean we're singing songs, we're bringing people in to sing songs. I want to work on lyrics, not the whole lyrics, but parts of the song that could be useful in understanding what the singer is actually saying, and also using these expressions or phrases or so in everyday life as well. So the benefit of knowing what the singer means, and also being able to use these in your everyday life out there in Tokyo or wherever you are. Now, previously we did a song called "I'll Be There for You," which was done by the Rembrandts, and the theme from Friends. And today, starting today in two parts, a very popular song by a very popular group from England that I'm sure you're familiar with. The group is called Queen, and the song is "We Are the Champions." Now, surely you remember how big of a hit Bohemian Rhapsody was a few years back. I love to do Bohemian Rhapsody, but to tell you the truth, a lot of that is not really everyday English and it's quite complicated. But "We Are the Champions" is good, so that's what I want to work on today. Okay, first I want to give you, this episode is going to be 4 things that are in the lyrics, 4 expressions that are in the lyrics, and go over them. The pronunciation and any linking possibilities. Also comparing the pronunciation from speakers around the world, native speakers, and also a Japanese speaker. And also want to get into the meaning of that and give you a chance to practice these as well. That's all going to be for today. Great. So with "We Are the Champions," the first one that comes from the lyrics is "I've paid my dues." Now I want to go over the pronunciation. It's I-V-E, I've paid my dues. Now, dues is with D-U-E-S, but the S is pronounced as a Z. I've paid my dues. That's the first one. Basically, the "I've paid," there's not a lot of linking in there. "Paid my dues," it kind of goes along nicely there, but not necessarily anything that's going to be shortened up and linked together. The next one is "time after time." Time after time. This could link very well with the E and the A. Time after, and after time. Time after time, time after time. That's the second expression from the first half of this. And the third one will be "I've done my sentence." I've done my sentence. I've paid my dues. I've done my sentence. I've done my sentence. I've done my sentence. I'll get into that sentence. That sentence doesn't mean like a sentence in a paragraph. This is a different sentence. And lastly in this is going to be "sand kicked in my face." Sand kicked in my face. Sand kicked in my face. We could put the sand kicked in my face. Sand kicked in my face. The kicked in and linked together very nicely there. Okay? We'll go a little bit more on pronunciation as well for the practice. Now, what I'd like to do next is I'd like to have these expressions said and presented here by 4 different speakers: Canada, America, England, and lastly Japan. Let's listen to the speakers with these 4 expressions, these 4 things from "We Are the Champions." Let's listen.
I've paid my dues. Time after time. I've done my sentence. Sand kicked in my face.
I've paid my dues. Time after time. I've done my sentence. Sand kicked in my face.
I've paid my dues. Time after time. I've done my sentence. Sand kicked in my face.
I've paid my dues. Time after time. I've done my sentence. Sand kicked in my face.
Okay, great, everyone. I hope you enjoyed listening to the different speakers. I certainly did myself. Now let's get into the meaning of these. The first one which I had was I've paid my dues. I've paid my dues. Now what this basically means is that you did the work, took up the challenge, you put the effort in there into what the situation may be. So I paid my dues. I didn't do this halfway. I didn't do this, in a way that was lazily done. I put in the effort and did the work that's required. So I paid my dues. It took time, it took effort, but I did do it. I've paid my dues. This comes from the idea of dues being a fee for something, and pay is paying the fee of this. The dues is the money relation there. So I paid my dues is I've made the proper effort and I've done the time required for this. I paid my dues. This does not mean any payment was made in this expression here. I've paid my dues. Okay. Now the next one is time after time. Now, time after time may sound familiar if you're familiar with the singer Cyndi Lauper. She also had a song called Time After Time. That's not here. I'm going to stay with We Are the Champions, but this time after time is in the song. And time after time meaning that not just once, not just twice, but over and over again. I've paid my dues time after time. I made the effort, I put in the hard work many times, over and over. Time after time would be the same idea as over and over. Okay, everybody? Time after time. The third one is I've done my sentence. Now, which I referred to earlier, that sentence does not mean a sentence in a paragraph here. This sentence here means a prison sentence. A prison sentence, you did something bad and you had to go to prison, that's the time you have to stay in prison, that's your sentence. So I've done my sentence. Now, this does not mean that the singer committed a crime, but the singer was in a difficult time, a difficult situation, but now it's finished. So I've done my sentence means I'm now free. My sentence, whatever punishment or penalty or trial or tribulation I had is finished. I've done my sentence. So now something good should come from this. I've done my sentence. And lastly is sand kicked in my face. Now, unfortunately, two of these at least, are a little bit on the hard side. So think of the situation, you're at the beach, you're sitting down, you're enjoying the sun, and somebody walks by and in their walking, they kick up sand and it gets in your face. So sand kicked in my face is the idea of you had a tough time and didn't get much help, or you got trouble, or somebody treated you badly. You got sand kicked in your face. So you're trying to do something, for yourself or do something successfully, but you're being prevented from doing it successfully. Somebody's stopping you or trying to stop you. Sand kicked in my face. That's a little bit of a rough expression there. That's the idea though. Sand kicked in my face. So no matter what, I'm going to try to persevere through this, even if I get sand kicked in my face. Okay, everybody? Now, it's not a great expression, but it's an expression that's understood as, going through some tough times, maybe because somebody's trying to stop you. Okay? I want to turn it over to you now and practice these expressions as well. So let's practice them together. So, first one, I've paid my dues. Why don't you try? I've paid my dues. Great. And the next one is time after time. I've paid my dues actually connects in here in the song. I've paid my dues time after time, over and over again. That's fine there. And the next one is I've done my sentence. I've done my sentence. Why don't you try it? I've done my sentence. Now, that's a nice expression. I can't say it's an everyday expression, but if you went through a hard period, then you can say I've done my sentence and now things should be better. And lastly is sand kicked in my face. Sand kicked in my face. I had sand kicked in my face. I wasn't happy about it, but I persevered and I was able to successfully do what I wanted to do. Like you with your English, you persevere, you study hard, you learn expressions like this, you come here for pronunciation and linking and good things like that, build up your vocabulary. That's all we can ask for. So that's today, everyone, for the first part of We Are the Champions. We got part 2 being filmed very shortly. It's going to be here on YouTube, not so long in the future. So until then, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for everything and liking and subscribing and commenting, which we really like. And we're back here again before you know it. Thank you very much.